What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk Marvel every single day. And today we have some more news about Kang possibly returning to the MCU. A lot of fans have expressed that they want this in some way, shape, or form. A lot of people have specifically stated that they want Jonathan Majors back as Kang the Conqueror. And we even heard a report a couple of weeks ago that Marvel Studios was considering possibly bringing back Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. But now it looks like that time might have passed. It might have been something that they were considering, specifically talking about Jonathan Majors returning, not Kang in general, but specifically Marvel might have been considering bringing back Jonathan Majors, but now it doesn't really seem like that's the case. However, that doesn't mean that Kang is done. And actually, I think the smartest move for Marvel Studios would be to bring Kang the Conqueror back and have him go up against Doom, because I think this would solve a pretty big problem that Marvel has right now, and that is there's literally no buildup to Doctor Doom. There was buildup to Kang, and he was really starting to be established as a huge threat. They dropped the ball a little bit with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but the post-credit scene really did show you that Kang and his variants are a super big threat. But we'll get more into how Kang could solve a pretty big problem in the MCU right now in just a bit. Let's go into the new report that says Kang could return to the MCU. Last week and the week before, there was a lot of talks about Kang returning to the MCU, specifically about Jonathan Majors. There was a report released by Screen Geek, and they reported that they heard Marvel Studios was considering bringing back Jonathan Majors to play Kang in the MCU. But here's the deal. He wasn't going to return to be the big bad again. They are still obviously going with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. You're not going to have him come back, have the Russo brothers come back, pay them a ton of money to just kind of undo the plans that you made. Kang is done. He's not going to be the big bad of the MCU anymore, obviously, but that doesn't mean they don't need to wrap up his story, because I believe that they do. And that was what was talked about in that report, bringing back Jonathan Majors to simply end the Kang storyline and actually give it closure. And that's what we're hearing Marvel Studios still wants to do, just without Jonathan Majors. According to industry insider Jeff Snyder from theinsnyder.com, on his Hot Mic podcast, he said that he believes there are plans in place already with Marvel to reintroduce the villain to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at some point, but it doesn't sound like when he's brought back, he'll be sticking around, because apparently Marvel wants to wrap up the Kang storyline by bringing the character back for what could be just a handful of scenes, if even that. He specifically said Marvel has a plan to say goodbye to Kang, which that totally should be the plan. And the plan should specifically be for Dr. Doom to kill him. But here is a big new report. Jeff Snyder says that Jonathan Majors is not going to return to reprise the role, but he has heard that Severance actor Tarell Tillman might be in talks to step in as Kang the Conqueror. And I gotta say, I've seen a lot of comments saying that they really like this. And if you haven't seen Severance, it's a great show. I recommend it, but the cast is amazing, including Tarell Tillman. And I think that's why a lot of people who have seen this rumor like this, because they like Tarell Tillman. They think he's talented, but his demeanor, the way he is, he could definitely play a Kang variant. So based off of all the reports and all of the rumors that we've heard the past couple of weeks, it does sound like a lot of the insiders are hearing kind of the same thing to a degree. It doesn't sound like they've all heard that Jonathan Majors is going to be returning, but it sounds like they've all pretty much heard that Marvel Studios does want to close out the Kang storyline, which, if you think about it, makes perfect sense, because for the people who don't go on YouTube or they don't go online and don't follow this stuff very closely, then the post-credit scene for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will just be left as something that's never finished. People are going to wonder, what happened to that? What was that all about? Why show us that and then never show us anything else? What happened to these evil people and the army of their variants? It makes sense to close out this story. Now, recently, Jonathan Majors made a return to acting with his film Magazine Dreams, and him returning was actually received very well. So perhaps at some point in time, Marvel Studios did consider hey, maybe we could bring Kang back and maybe it could be Jonathan Majors. They could have definitely thought that at some point in time, but then decided to just move on. And according to this report, it sounds like they might be in talks with Tarell Tillman. And again, like I said, this would fix a really big problem that the MCU has right now with Doom. Because here's what needs to happen. Kang needs to return, and then Doom needs to kill him like it's nothing. Have Tillman come in as Kang and a bunch of his variants, possibly even the Council of Kangs. Marvel showed them as a really big threat. Marvel showed He Who Remains as somebody who basically conquered a universe, and his variants as people who destroyed universes and almost destroyed the multiverse. They've clearly established them as extremely powerful people. So how do you establish that Doom is even stronger? Have him wipe them out with ease. Have them go up to him and him kill them like it's nothing, and not just one of them, but wipe out the entire threat of Kang altogether. Then we can dive into further things like the TVA. We've heard reports, and to be honest, it only makes sense that this would happen, that Loki is going to be essentially dethroned. Well, if the multiverse truly is going to be destroyed and we are going to go into Battleworld, which is ruled by Doom, that has to happen. The multiverse has to be destroyed and Loki has to get dethroned. So what better way for Doom to get on Loki's radar and the TVA's radar than to have this person come out of nowhere and simply destroy the person that the TVA has been monitoring and really only been focusing on since the end of Loki season 2, and also destroy the person who made the TVA. So this would take care of a really big story problem that the MCU has with the firing of Jonathan Majors as Kang and Kang not returning. Him returning, Kang, not Jonathan Majors, but Kang, and being put to rest by our new villain does two things that we need. One, it closes the story of Kang. It gives us that closure that we need. And two, it establishes Doom as somebody to not mess around with, but somebody who's so big and bad, so strong, that killing our last big bad was nothing. He did it with ease. And in fact, if he didn't have his own time traveling technology, which I'm assuming he does have, but if he didn't, he could take Kang's tech and then become even stronger than he already was. This would fix a lack of buildup for Dr. Doom. There's a chance we get a tease for him in the Fantastic Four, but we're not sure at this point in time. And again, if we do, it's just gonna be a tease. That means we're going right into the next Avengers movie, in which we haven't had an Avengers movie in a really long time. Like, it was 2019 when we got Avengers Endgame, and they had started to build up Thanos by then. They haven't built up Doom at all in the MCU. Now, of course, you can go into a lot of his backstory in Avengers Doomsday. I'm assuming we are. I mean, he's in the title. And Infinity War did a great job of telling us all about Thanos. They'll do the same for Doom, I'm sure. But we have, of course, noticed the lack of buildup and the lack of an Avengers team in general. And while we can't really fix the fact that the Avengers aren't going to assemble until Avengers Doomsday, you can fix the problem of no buildup for Doom by having Doom just show himself to be a complete powerhouse, way stronger than Kang ever was, showing us that he truly is a monstrous threat to the multiverse and that he's probably going to go on to rule the one thing that is going to be left after the multiverse is destroyed: Battleworld, becoming God Emperor Doom. And I personally really would like the Kang story to be wrapped up. I wouldn't like Marvel Studios to just simply call it what it is, move away from it, say nothing about it ever again. I'd rather them recast Kang. If they're not going to bring back Jonathan Majors, recast Kang, bring him in, have Doom kill him. Doom gets established as the big bad, we get closure on Kang's story, and we move forward with Doomsday. I think that's one of the better scenarios that we could get considering everything that has happened. But what do you all think? Do you think Marvel Studios should put Kang's story to rest, give us some closure, or do you think they should just simply move on? And what do you think about Tarell Tillman possibly replacing Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU? Very briefly, albeit. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.